everybody, it's Tammy here again, and I am going to do another simple project. This one's going to be a rosette wand, and it's for a raffle Easter basket that I'm making for the Special Olympics. So anyway, what you're going to need is a 1.5-inch scallop punch. This one's by Recollections. And then I have a bunch of straws. This one's a purple one with little cute polka dots on it. These are little styrofoam eggs from Dollar Tree, and I had already cut them in half because I used these on another project. So I'm going to try to fit those on the rosette. And then you're going to need just a scrap piece of paper that coordinates with the colors that you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm just going to punch a couple of these out, one for the back, one for the front, and there are the little scallop circles. I got a pack of paper that had like different papers for different holidays, and so this one is just it's a 20-pound 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, but I'm actually going to score it and then cut it down into the strips I need in order to make the rosette. And then I have, and that's a little flimsy, so I'm going to have use some construction paper. So I've got a 12 by 12 sheet of just regular purple construction paper. I'm going to score that because my rosette is, I always make double rosettes. So I have a smaller rosette on top of a larger rosette in the back. And again, this is a really simple one. Just because it's going in this raffle basket, I wasn't going to do like a really extravagant one like I usually do. So anyway, and then I'm going to use this little bow here that I received in a swap. And I got these window decoration Easter eggs from the Dollar Tree. But I thought they were really cute, and I think that I'm probably going to use one of these little Easter eggs and maybe a flower on the front just for the decorations. So anyway, let's get started. So first off, what I'm going to do is I am going to score this piece of paper. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to score it at every 1/4 inch. And I'm going to use my little score tool here. So actually I'm going to do every 1/2 inch. So just score it all the way down, every 1/2 inch. And this will make a little thicker rosette, but because I'm going to cut these into strips, I'm going to come actually like into 1-inch strips and put 2 of the strips together. I'm just going to do a 1/2 inch. Typically on the smaller ones, I will do a 1/4 inch scoring on them, and it makes a really fine little rosette. So, but I want it a little bit bigger than normal. So, and then whatever I don't use, I can save, and I can make another rosette with whatever's left over on that paper. So then I'm going to take the 12 by 12. I didn't cut off the end yet, so I'm just going to do it this way. But I'm going to, let's see, I'll probably do this one every 1/4 inch. And you're just going to do that all the way across. And we're going to cut these into strips when we're done. So this part takes a little while. It's kind of time consuming, but and there are dies that you can buy that do this, and I do have some, but I found that this was easier, and I actually like doing it this way. I don't feel like the dies really score very well, and so you have to kind of send the paper through like 4 times through the machine, and I just feel like this is a much more effective way of making these strips. And you can take scissors, you know, the scissors that have the fancy little blades on them, and you can cut across. I've seen people do that. But like I said, I'm just making a really simple rosette for the Easter basket, and we're just going to do this all the way across the page. And I think on this one, you may only need to cut one strip to make the rosette, but I won't know until I actually make the smaller rosette with the Happy Easter paper. So, and a really good tip when you're scoring, if you accidentally score in a spot where you didn't mean to, I'm going to show you. This is really easy. What I do is I take my bone folder, and if you notice this little strip right here, I'm just going to kind of, probably shouldn't do that better. If we're done with the scoreboard, we don't need it, so we can put that away. But what I do is I will take, and I will kind of flatten that out. Usually it works, but it's not working today. Okay, well, I don't want to ruin the other one, but you can take it and you can actually kind of press that back into the paper so that when you do go to fold, there we go, when you do go to fold on your score line, you won't accidentally fold that part. So now what you can do is take your paper cutter, paper trimmer, put that aside, and we're going to cut these. First I'm going to cut off that excess. I don't want that. Alright, so we're going to cut these in strips. And with the bigger rosettes, I usually do like about 1.5 inch strips. And I'll do a couple just in case I need the bigger one, a bigger rosette. Excuse me. Okay, and then on the paper that we scored, we're just going to, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch. And then I think I'll make one more just in case, because I'm not sure how big that's going to make that. So I've got my 2 1/2 inch strips. That's all we need for the scoring board. Like I said, this is a really easy project. Hopefully my glue, yes, my glue gun is heated up. So what I do is I just take this and I do a valley fold, which is just back and forth with the paper. And I usually just do a couple of them like this, and then I'll squish them together and do a couple more until you get all the way through to the very end. Just kind of, so what it's going to do is it's going to, what's called a mountain and valley fold. And sometimes you have to be really careful because the score lines are weird. But we're just going to go back and forth until we get to the end. Now a lot of people do their rosettes differently, and the way that I found, yeah, see, that's going to make a really small little rosette, and I kind of want it to be bigger. So I'm going to valley fold, mountain valley fold this one, back and forth. I'm not really sure why that's not working out. Let me start on this end. Oh, I know why. Okay. Alright, so we're going to fold at a 1/4 inch. I guess I should have scored it at a 1/4 inch, but I didn't, so we're working with it. Everything's fixable in crafting. Don't freak out just because you did something and then you end up not going with what you originally intended. That's the beauty about paper crafting, is everything's fixable, which is really cool. One of the things I like about it. So I used to do artwork, and sometimes that is not fixable. You kind of just have to go with whatever you come up with. So anyway, alright, so we're just mountain and valley folding this back and forth till we get to the end, and we're going to squish that together. Alright, So we've got our two little strips, and what I like to do, a lot of people will take and they will glue like that over the mountain, over the last mountain on it or whatever, but I don't like to do that. I like to just trim this off, and then let's see, probably trim this one off and trim the end off, and then right here on this last one I'm going to take my glue, and I use art glitter glue. It's the bomb. It just it dries fast, and it has a really, really secure hold. So I just place that one end that I cut off, I place that over, and then I will just do a little squish like that just to make it so it's secure. When I found this tip, I was watching someone make a rosette one time, and I thought, oh my gosh, that is so cool. So anyway, we are going to also do that to the other end so that we have a circle. See the circle here? Okay. So what you're going to end up with is a circle like this. What I like to do is just kind of squish it together, and the paper's a little bit more difficult to work with than the cardstock. So, but what you could do, let's see what I'll do with this, is I will take one of these, and I'm going to take my glue gun, and I'm going to go around the edge of the circle like that. And you kind of have to work fast so that the glue doesn't dry before you get this stuck down. So I'm just going to kind of squeeze it like that, kind of push it, and then try to get around it before the glue dries 100%. Okay. And then I just kind of push it down to where, yeah, you have to work really fast with the hot glue, so it kind of hardens before you get a chance to actually do anything, but I think that will work. Okay. And I will do another tutorial because typically I don't use paper like this. I usually use just cardstock, but I didn't have any Easter cardstock, so the only Easter cardstock I have is DSP digital paper, so I didn't print any out. Probably fix that with a little bit of glue. So just put a little bit of glue back here. Okay. And then I will just let that dry, harden, whatever. Okay. So now we're going to do the same Mountain Valley fold. The pizza guy must be here because my dog is going crazy. Alright, so we're going to pizza fold. We're going to Mountain Valley fold the cardstock. Just like this. Cardstock's a lot easier to do when you're doing the Mountain Valley fold and making rosettes than just regular paper. So, and I might go back and change that rosette and do it a little bit differently because I don't, kind of looking at it right now and I'm like, I never make wonky looking ones, but that one looks kind of wonky. this is a lot better to work with, but we're definitely going to need 2 of those for the rosette. So I'm going to do this other one really quick. And you can, this is called like Mountain Valley accordion. I've heard it called all kinds of things, but it goes pretty fast once you get going. I just kind of squish it every once in a while. Make sure it's straight. And like I said, there's a lot of tutorials on how to do this, so you might have a better way, might have an easier way. This is just what I'm doing on this particular project. So anyway, so again, I'm going to cut that end off just a little bit. I'm going to take this end, I'm going to put a little bit of art glitter glue. I'm going to take that, and actually I'm going to trim that off a little bit because I don't like that end. Okay. I'm going to put that on top of that one, kind of hold it down, get rid of the excess glue because you don't want your mountains sticking together. Okay. Then we are going to, let's see, I'm going to cut off this end. I'm going to glue this other end. I'm going to put that together. Hold that for a minute. Okay, and then I'm just going to make sure that those are Mountain Valley peaks there. And then this is going to make a large rosette. So why it's doing that? Okay, like that. So what I do is I take a really big glob of glue and this is an old craft mat that I had before I got the Tim Holtz glass mat, but I just kind of like squish it, pinch it into the hot glue like that. And I'm not too worried about the little bump in the middle. That you're not going to see that because we're going to put our other rosette right there on top. And we're just going to let that dry. And I notice that the bigger globs of hot glue take a little bit longer to cool down than the smaller, but once I feel like this is really adhered on here, then I will let it go and I will let it completely cool on its own. So and that might not even stay. I might just have to put some more glue. And do not forget to put your needle in your pin in your glue, art glitter glue. If you don't do that, the tip will dry up and clog up, and then you're basically not going to be able to get any glue out, and you're going to have to fix that. So anyway, all right, so I'm going to put that aside, let that cool down a little bit more, and I think what I'm going to also do is, where's my paper? Okay, I'm going to cut another one of these because I want one in the front, and I want one in the back. Sorry, I have allergies, and they're usually really bad right now, so anyway. Okay, so this is what's cool, is on this mat, I can just take this when it's dry. It's not cooled down yet. I think I'm going to figure out, let's see, I know I'm going to use that bow, so I'm going to take that out. I'm actually going to take the styrofoam that came on the back. I could take that off because I don't need it. I put it on the bow. And then I'm going to figure out which eggs I want. And I think I'm going to go with this little flower. I'm just going to cut those out. And I'll be making a tag next to go on the front of the basket, so I think I'm going to save those eggs to do that. But anyway, this should be dry enough. Okay. So that's the great thing about these mats is I can put my glue on there, put my rosette, let it cool down, and then just pull it right off, which to me, that's just like so cool. Alright, so now I'm just going to put some more glue on the back so I can put my scalloped circle on there. But first I'm going to take and I'm going to just kind of flatten one end of my straw. I'm going to put that like right there. And I'll probably put some more glue just around so that that circle stays in one place. And then I'll just put that on the back like that, kind of probably need my I already burned myself last week, so I'm trying to be a little bit careful with the glue, but and I'll go back and clean up all that glue that's just hanging there. I don't like that. Kind of oozing out the edges there. I put a little bit much. That's what tweezers are for. I always clean up my hot glue when it does that stringy stuff, which I absolutely hate. I just recently started using hot glue. I have never been a big fan of it, but I find that it does help with certain projects to get them done a little bit faster because you're not waiting for drying time. I used to do these rosettes with art glitter glue, and it just takes forever to dry. So plus glue guns are much cheaper. Buying glue sticks is a lot cheaper than buying art glitter glue. Anyway, alright. I'll probably end up putting like a little sticker on there later once I'm done. Only my second video and everything that can go wrong is going wrong. Alright, so there we have the base, the stick for the wand and the little rosette. And now I'm going to put this rosette on top. And I'm going to just put glue on the little circle, put it on top of that rosette. And I don't know why this, when you get this paper hot, it does that. Here's a tip. If it's really hot, turn it over and kind of lightly press on the rosette. And then you can turn it over and do what you need to do, but I love making rosettes. It's like one of my favorite things to do. So, alright, and then I'm going to take this and turn it over the right way. I'm just going to glue that right there. Let's put a little bit of glue. And then just going to hold it down right below the base. Let it cool. And while that's cooling, I'm going to take my little egg and I'm going to put glue on one side. That's a foil egg, so it's a little hot. Okay. And then, let's see. I think I'm just going to do one of these little eggs. And do not put the glue on the styrofoam because it will melt it, but if you put the glue down and then put the styrofoam on, you should be good. And just let that cool. And I'm going to put that right there. And then what I like to do is, I feel like the egg is just kind of like on its own. So what I will do is I will take some stickles. And this is the fun part because I'm going to take some stickles. I'm going to take the blue. Yeah, I think I'll take the blue. Alright, I'm going to use the stickles. It's by Ranger, and this one's called Sea Glass. And I am just going to give that little egg some icing, I guess you could call it. Just put some little stickles on it. I just feel like they need something. Just a little bit of stickles, and then I'll let that dry. And then later on I'll probably come back and put some bling or something, because I always have to have bling on my stuff. But anyway, that's how to make a really simple and quick little wand. And you know, later on I might go back and add a little bit of bling and maybe some stickles around the edge. I'm not sure yet, but it's just, like I said, it's for a raffle basket, so it's just quick and easy. And now I'm going to make a tag to go on the front of the basket. But anyway, so thanks for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to hit that like button and the subscribe and the little bell if you want to be notified when I do post a new video. And stay tuned for more, and thank you for visiting.